The Dayton Area Broadcasters Hall of Fame is pleased to welcome posthumously Barry Dr. Creep Hobart to its class of 2011.
Ladies and gentlemen, it's my pleasure to introduce the next honoree. He's so well known to the Dayton community and so well loved. We only wish that he could be here to receive this very well-deserved award. Mr. Barry Dr. Creep Hobart.
Barry Hobart entertained a generation of Dayton TV watchers while helping to raise thousands of dollars for charitable organizations. Barry was a native of Middletown, Ohio, who came out of the Air Force and back home to become a late-night phenomenon. It all came about surprisingly, as he started as a control operator at WKEF-TV Channel 22 and came up with the idea of creating a late-night horror show. Channel 22 at the time was looking for a way to improve its late-night ratings.
And he represented a time that was really fun when it comes to live television. I enjoyed working with him because we used to do his show live, and eventually it was on tape. But it was that spontaneity that you so loved with him, because he was naturally funny. And so it was easy for him to go and make fun of these awful movies that he had to host. And so he became the, as they used to say in the song before, this lovable creep. He was supposed to be evil and dark, but everybody could see through that. He was just the lovable guy that had the jokes and the fun, and he went through different co-hosts with puppets and Duffy the dog and things like that, and it was always fun to work with him.
The show was called Shock Theater, and it remained on the air for 13 years, and his character, Dr. Creep, remained around the Dayton area for many years to come, making guest appearances at almost every charitable event in the area. Well, Shock Theater ratings went through the roof because of Barry and his expansion of that character as co-host of Clubhouse 22, which made him a household name. Children everywhere knew Dr. Creep.
Barry. I really miss him. I worked with him a long time at 22, and he was just a good person to work with. It was easy. Whatever you'd ask him to do, he would do it. People call him, or they'd call somebody and say, "Can you get Dr. Creep for us?" because they loved him. He was one kind of a unique person. He just loved people, and when he got around people, he was so happy, and people loved him right back.
I think the thing was he lived his character 24 hours a day, 7 days a week. I remember one time he called me at work at the radio station, said he had a couple of tickets for wrestling at Hare Arena that night, and did I want to go out with him, go with him to the wrestling matches? And I said, sure, not a problem. I wasn't prepared for the fact that he was going to show up at my front door in the hearse. And when he did, he not only had the hearse there, but he had a big contingent of kids that had followed him all the way down the street, parents behind them, kind of like the Pied Piper of Hamelin. And of course, as soon as he got out of the hearse in costume, he was mobbed by the kids in my front yard and then the parents, and he dutifully took every picture, signed every autograph, and then when it was all done, he and I got in the hearse and took off to the wrestling matches. But it made me the star of the neighborhood because Dr. Creep came to my house.
While Barry was active in charitable events, his biggest stardom came from his yearly appearance with the late Johnny Walker on the Jerry Lewis Labor Day Muscular Dystrophy Telethon. The show raised thousands of dollars, in large part because of Johnny and Dr. Creep. He was the cool ghoul who was everybody's best friend, a colorful character, and a guy with a big heart. What a legacy he's left. The Dayton Area Broadcasters Hall of Fame is pleased to welcome posthumously Barry Dr. Creep Hobart to its class of 2011.